The next stop is On the Radar Radio.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Yes, sir, baby. On the Radar Radio. Yo, special guest up in the building with me today. Queen Parker in the building. Hello, sis.
Hello.
How you feeling today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm gonna tell you right now, my English is not all the way there, but I'm gonna try for you today.
Hey, my Spanish isn't all the way there either, and I've tried. I actually, I've done during the pandemic on Zoom. I actually did a few interviews with some Spanish artists, who weren't that great at speaking English, but at the time it was very funny because shout out my sis Mags because she used to do PR for Spanish artists. She'd be in the corner on Zoom like texting me things. They're like, she's like, I know you don't understand everything, but here's what they're saying. But no, it's been good. Like, you know, I've had a bunch of Spanish artists here who like Menor Bronx was here the other day. And we've had a great time. The language barrier has not been hard, but I'm excited to have you here today because we've been doing all these Spanish freestyles, and you know, me being Puerto Rican, I say this at the beginning of all these interviews, it's so important for me, and it's been a goal of mine to once the platform got to this level to be able to get my people on here and highlight my people who are doing amazing things in the world.
For the culture.
Especially being in New York too, you know what I'm saying? Because we've been talking a lot about how Spanish artists in New York kind of get not discredited, but we don't get the entirety of respect that is deserved just yet.
Yeah.
Do you feel that? Have you felt that like with you and now that your career is starting to move the way it's starting to move?
Yeah, like me, for example, like as a Dominican, I feel like the platforms that are here for Spanish artists, they usually like prioritize the artists that are already popping or the ones that are already established from Dominican Republic, you know, like it's hard for a new talent to get into like the major radio stations and stuff like that because unless you really have like a big buzz, they don't pay attention to you at all.
Right. And I think that does a disservice because I feel like even if you look at any other genre, whether it be hip hop, EDM, whatever, like there's always like from the top to the bottom, there's platforms for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's different experiences for different artists, especially being from New York. Because like in some cases, like the people who live on the island really like your music, but then also there's other people out there on the island that are just kind of like, oh, but you were born in or you live in America now, and it's like, is that music really considered like American Spanish music? Is that really considered like music from the island too?
Well, it's depending. It's depending because, for example, me, I'm 100% like Dominican. I got here when I was like 14 years old.
Okay, so you were born out in DR. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a whole hick. Yeah, I'm from the island, but like I still use a lot of their lingo, and I'm starting to do like the Spanglish. Spanglish stuff, but the way that I make music, I try to make it like look like as much as from there as possible. I don't know if you understand.
You're trying to get like the sound from as much of the sound from DR in your music as possible.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. So when you relate to them, they fuck with it. When you are using certain words that they are using at the moment, they're gonna relate to you more. It doesn't really depend from where you coming from. It's more the words that you use in your song.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you first started making music?
19 years old.
19. Okay, so it was while you were like way after you moved out here that you started making music.
Yeah, I started making music like 3 years ago, I would say.
Okay, so what made you choose this career path, this path in life?
So, I actually graduated from college. I wanted to be a fashion designer.
Come on.
I did business administration, and then I wanted to go to FIT for fashion design.
Okay.
But when I graduated, I started making like TikToks and stuff like that, and my social media were starting to blow up, you know. And when I started like posting freestyles, people were fucking with it. And one day I went to one of my friends that he's a producer, and he made my first song, and everybody started fucking with it because I already had a platform, but from making memes and funny videos and stuff like that, you know. So when I did my first song, I got a lot of support, and I was like, they fucking with it. Let's do it. That's
right.
why not, you know? Yeah.
So it was like really because of the social media buzz on TikTok.
Yeah.
But now that was probably during the pandemic then?
Yeah. A little bit before. I started a little bit before the pandemic. Yeah.
But the pandemic is probably like during that time is when it really
Yeah.
the TikTok and the music started really moving that way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you were like, all right, cool. Like the fashion stuff is always gonna be there for me, but now I'm
Yeah.
gonna do the music side of things.
Yeah.
Were you scared with doing that too? Because it's like you kind of already had like this other path, like kind of at least in your mind laid out for you.
No, I feel like everything happens for a reason. I feel like in
1000%.
my life, like a lot of experience had led me to this position. Like, for example, I always liked music, but I didn't see myself as an artist. But it's like everything was going like so organically, like the support. Every time, like I was doing a freeze, everybody was like, why are you not doing that, you know? And it's like everything, I don't know, I feel like everything happens for a reason. I just be going with the flow with whatever it is, you know?
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if this moved this way, of course you're gonna naturally just pick that
Yeah,
path.
I'm like, why not, you know? Yeah.
Right. So with like the music you make now, because you do like a variety of things, and you're even saying that you're starting to get into more like the Spanglish side of things. Do you feel like you need to do Spanglish music though? Like,
I don't have to, but I would like to, because I already got like the DR crowd, but I want to start. First of all, I want to start getting better at my English. That's number one.
no, your English is great. I don't know what you're talking about. I think your English is
My
incredible.
accent is like crazy, but I want to start working with a lot of the American artists. You know, like that's something that like when I used to live in the R, I used to listen to a lot of English songs, but I didn't understand shit, and
Right.
it's like. I don't know. I just want to start getting into the American business, in the American industry, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like even like that, like obviously American industry is great, but I feel like there's also so much more success just to be had on the Latin music side. Like, and I use this example a lot too. I think of Becky G, right? I always say Becky G because Becky G
Yeah.
is a great example of that because Becky G started off doing English music in English.
Yeah.
And then like once she started doing Spanish music, and then she got the song with Bad Bunny like 5 years ago ish. It was like,
Crazy for
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I feel like sometimes Americans don't realize how much power the Latin industry has.
Yeah, that's true. Bad Bunny changed everything.
Bad
now.
Bunny's
Bad
changed
Bunny
everything.
Changed everything. Yeah.
But even if you look at it like on a smaller level too, like I like Karol G, for example. I love Karol G, right? But I didn't fully realize how big her impact was. And then like I saw her like selling out stadiums in like
Yeah.
in like South America, and I was like, I did not think that she could sell out stadiums. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think about that
feel
stuff
like
too.
I feel like you know, like the American, you know, Americans started everything with the hip hop. So
Of course,
the
yeah.
thing is that they have way more resources than us. Like things are starting to change now because of Bad Bunny and Karol G, but you guys have a little bit more of a resources for artists to start blowing up. Like for example, you know, like with TikTok, I noticed that I don't know if it's that's something that I personally saw that right now they signing everybody that is blowing up on TikTok.
Oh yeah, facts, 1000%.
Everybody that is blowing up on TikTok. I feel like there's more people watching from this side than the Latin side. You know, I feel like the Latin is starting to blow up now, but since you guys have a little bit more of time, like it's a little bit easier for you to, you know, blow up. Like,
Right.
so,
I
yeah.
definitely saw that a lot during the
Yeah.
pandemic too. Like during the pandemic, the amount of artists who I interviewed on Zoom who were just like straight signed off of one TikTok song
Yeah,
is
yeah.
crazy. But I also feel like I'm gonna counter that. A lot of artists who blow up off TikTok don't always get that
One-hit
longevity of
wonder.
success. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
yeah.
I do know a lot of one-hit wonders off of TikTok, which you know, having a one hit record in your life is a blessing in and of itself at the very least. But I feel like yes, there definitely are more resources for artists on the American side of things, but I feel like that on the Latin side of things, the community is a lot tighter. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like on the American side, there's like a lot more cracks in the foundation, but the Latin side, like it's definitely, even though it's obviously spread out through all of Latin America, the Caribbean, so on and so forth, I feel like it definitely is more of a tighter support system, at least between the artists at the very least. Maybe not
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
infrastructure business-wise,
Yeah.
but with the artists for sure, there's
Yeah,
definitely a
yeah,
better
yeah.
support system between each other.
Yeah,
that's just what I see from
yeah,
looking
yeah.
from
I
where we
agree
at.
with you. I agree with you on that side. Yeah.
Because I think about like even when Bad Bunny first started blowing up, like 4 or 5 years ago, right? And you would look at Bad Bunny's comment section, you see like Daddy Yankee, Wisin Yandel,
Yeah.
Zion. Who else would I see in there? But you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Like, there was
they used
more
to do
system.
a lot of collabs between them. The Puerto Ricans, they do a lot of collaborations, a lot of collaborations between them.
Do you feel like there's not as much like collaborations with like the artists in the DR yet, or
Yes, but the thing is that the artists from the art they not as mainstream as a Puerto Rican artists. That's the thing.
it's more like underground
Yeah,
type
yeah,
of situation?
yeah,
There's
yeah.
one girl from DR, and I always talk about her, and I always forget her name, and I'm so mad I forget her name.
Tokisha,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, yeah,
Tokisha,
she's
yeah,
so fucking fire. Like whenever she comes to
yeah,
New York, I need
yeah,
her on my show because she's dope.
yeah.
I love her. But like when I get on like the Dominican side of like music TikTok, like
Mhm,
I at least once a month I get fed a bunch of music from out there. I'm
mhm,
like, this shit is so fire, but I do
mhm,
understand what you're saying where it's kind of like I'm trying to think it's like if you relate it to hip hop, it's like you have like the mainstream hip hop artists like J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar,
mhm.
and then you have like the underground rappers, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Kind
yeah.
of like obviously it's different the type of music, but like it's the same type of concept. Like the mainstream
Mhm.
Puerto Ricans, like Bad
Yeah, it's not
Bunny,
the
and then
same.
you know
Yeah.
you have like El Alfa, and then on the
Mhm.
Dominican side, and then underneath is like the underground artists too.
Yeah.
But I think that's good that there's like that many layers, and that's why it's cool that
Mhm.
you're here in New York doing what you're doing too,
Yeah.
because all the artists who've been out here in New York, who are pushing the Spanish music out here, I really see it like moving in like a really powerful way too. Like when it comes to other art, are there any other artists you're working with right now from New York?
Me, yeah, like this is the year that I'm starting to do a lot of featurings because at the beginning when I started, I was like, I want people to know me as Queen Parker. I don't want people to know me as the artist that recorded with this certain artist,
Of
you know?
course,
So
yeah.
I wanted to start like building up my name and my catalog before I started doing collaborations. And that's what I'm starting to do now. I'm starting to work with a lot of the local artists, a lot of the ones that are already established too. I actually did a song that was trending on the R with a guy that is called Ty King. He's
Yep.
super fire. He's a drill artist, and yeah, that song was crazy. Everybody was on TikTok. It went trending. It was like number 15 on Dominican Republic, and that's a song that was like that was like my first drill collaboration with a guy, and it was super fire.
Right, and even the music that you make is more than just drill. You do a little bit of everything too.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't put myself like in one category. Like I'm a rapper. I fit into any category, you know? Yeah.
So what's next for you this year? What do we have coming up that we got to be on the lookout for?
Well, I'm actually dropping a song the 26th, February 26th. It's called Narcissist. It's actually a Latin trap. And it's super fire because it's a song that I know that a lot of girls is gonna relate to because it's basically about a toxic relationship between a girl and like kind of abusive relationship, and it's talking about like a story of a girl that went through something like that and she was able to get out of the situation. So that's something that I'm actually excited about because I know a lot of girls is gonna relate to it.
That's
Yeah,
fire. Do we have a project coming out this year?
yeah.
You have an album
Oh, an album.
or a mixtape?
I'm going to, but I haven't been like preparing. To be honest, I haven't started yet. I'm
Okay.
gonna be honest, but I wanna do one for sure. I wanna do like a little drill EP, something like that. Yeah,
Word. So we got the new single out on the 26th. So if that's
yeah,
out by the time y'all see this,
yeah.
go check that out. Project on the way. Before we get out of here, anything else that the people got to know about that you got coming up, where to follow you at, all that good stuff, you can let them know. This camera right here.
So you guys can follow me on social media as Queen Parker Official everywhere, Queen Parker Official, and make sure to stream Narcissist February 26th. You already know.
There you go. Well, make sure you go follow her. Go run up everything she has out now. Go show her some love. Go show her some support. Love is free. Support is free. But y'all already knew that. Till next time, Queen Parker on the radar. We out. Boom.